Okay, fellas, we've got through the easy part of this Champions League qualifying now. Things start to get a little bit more serious. It always does in this third qualifying round, and it's a Nordic Derby, okay? We need to show these guys we are the best Nordic nations. Let's go out there and make our way through to another Champions League playoff. Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 74 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and coming up in today's episode we have the third qualifying round of the Champions League. As I said in the intro, it's a Nordic Derby against Finland's Turku, and we've got a bit of stuff to cover off before that as well, checking in on how the other Icelandic teams have got on in Conference League qualifying so far. So if you are looking forward to today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But we will have a look at our opposition a little bit later on, right before we do get into the first leg of today's episode. But before then, we do need to check in on how the other Icelandic teams did get on in their first games in European qualifying off the back of yesterday's episode, which if you missed, I'll leave a link to it above my head in the top right corner. We did have 3 teams in that second qualifying round of the Conference League, and unfortunately things didn't go well. First off, it was Nuts KR taking on PEC Zwolle from the Netherlands. This one did go as expected. We weren't really expecting Nuts KR to pick up a result against the team the caliber of PEC Zwolle. They lost 5-2 on aggregate. We make our way down a little bit further and you can see how the other 2 teams got on. Unfortunately, HK also suffering a fairly heavy defeat to the Bosnia and Herzegovina team in Borac Banja Luka. They lost 4-1 on aggregate. That's a little bit disappointing from HK, truth be told. And the real heartbreaker is just above the bottom, Valareykjavik missing out on penalties to AEK Larnakas from Cyprus. So all of the other Icelandic teams, after their first games in European qualifying this season, are already out. So yet again, it is only us, and we have to do the entire carrying of the coefficient for this upcoming season, albeit it is quite a kind season to be getting rid of this upcoming one with a 1.33, which we are getting rid of. We should be able to still have a good little jump just based off of what we do, especially now that we are guaranteed ourselves a place in the group stages of a European competition, hopefully the Champions League. It would be nice to return to that monetarily wise. For the club, we will have a quick look now at our results since the end of yesterday's episode. We have played just the one game. It was against Nuts KR, fresh off that loss to PEC Zwolle in Conference League qualifying, and we picked up a very comfortable 4-0 win here. 2 first half goals to Musi Martins and 1 to Werner Bayer. He also got one late, and we pick up a very comprehensive 4-0 win, and that means that things sit in a pretty similar position to how they did when we did last check in on this table in yesterday's episode. We are 6 points clear of HK now with 1 game in hand on them, so a good break at the top of the league with about a third of the season left to go. And we have also had our Champions League playoff draw if we can get past into Turku in today's episode. If we go forward and have a look at the playoff draw, it could be a repeat of last year. We did miss out in this game on penalties, and we will be taking on the exact same opposition if we can get past into Turku, because we have been drawn yet again against Young Boys. It is another rematch from past Champions League qualifiers. That will be a pretty tough one. You look at the draw that some of the other teams in this Champions League playoff have got, and I think we got one of the tougher ones. I think all of the other teams will be feeling quite glad that it is us versus Young Boys, because apart from that, and potentially Rangers, we look like the 3 strongest teams arguably at this stage of Champions League qualifying. So to put us against Young Boys yet again means that one pretty good team is going to get knocked out before they do reach the Champions League. Hopefully, if we get past into Turku in today's episode, we can get a bit of payback at the start of next week, as I said, after missing out on penalties at the same stage last season. And one more thing to cover off before we have a look at into Turku a little bit more deeply. We have done one more outgoing transfer. We have somehow found a way to get rid of Bakare Samake. He is out on loan at Hammarby for the rest of the season. Of course, this is the player who we signed at the start of yesterday's episode, realised he wasn't very good, replaced him somewhat with Chaka Traore from AC Milan. Well, Hammarby were quite interested in taking him on loan, so that is where Bakare Samake goes. That is quite nice for us, and the really nice thing about this deal that he does have at Hammarby is there is an optional future fee of £100,000, so we would not really be losing too much on that transfer deal, and along with that, there is a 50% of profit from the next sale included in that optional future fee. So we could actually end up potentially making profit off that quite terrible transfer, which we did make to start off yesterday's episodes. That could actually work out not quite as bad as we thought, but if all things go to plan, we may have already offloaded Bakare Samake, and that would be quite nice, not making too much of a loss on him up front, and maybe even getting a little bit of a profit on him with that percentage of profit off the next sale clause included in that contract. But he has gone to Hammarby for the rest of this season, and hopefully for the rest of his career as far as we know it as well. But we are going to have a look at today's opposition now into Turku from Finland. They are just struggling a little bit in their domestic league, 5th at the moment, 8 points off top, albeit with a game in hand. But they are, of course, with us being in the champions path of the Champions League, the defending champions of Finland, 2.5-star reputation, so matching us, even though you could quite easily argue that we should have a higher reputation than these guys after our recent form in Europe. And also these guys did look quite threatening based on the scout report that we did get, taking that scout report with a little bit of a pinch of salt considering how well they did rank Samake when we signed him yesterday. But this could be a team who could threaten us. It is going to be a very interesting Nordic Derby in this third qualifying round of the Champions League, but I do still feel like this is a game we really should be winning, and hopefully we can make our way through to that Champions League playoff for that rematch that we want against Young Boys, try and get some payback for last season. We've just got one injury concern at the club at the moment. It is actually our new signing, Chaka Traore, and he is not registered for the Champions League yet anyway, so it doesn't have any impact on the squad that would have been available for this upcoming game. So we are more or less at full strength for this one, and we will come back shortly for the home leg, this time from the Laugardas Villa of the third qualifying round of the Champions League, a Nordic Derby against Inter Turku of Finland. And here are the team sheets for this first leg of the third qualifying round. As I said before, we are at full strength, exactly the starting 11 that we want and exactly the bench that we do want as well. No familiar names on the Inter Turku side of things. Hopefully a good result at home to take into the away leg. And a very early corner in our favour as Nygaard whips us into the mixer. Corbo with a header. It comes off the upright that nearly snuck inside that far post. We'll see if anything else comes from this highlight. Galtason with a shot, but it is blocked. Good early chance for us, but it remains 0-0 after 2 minutes. 7 minutes gone. It is Inter Turku on the attack here in the red with the white trim, and they do hold the ball just outside the box. Their first real threatening play in this game is so far it is 4 shots to none, but some good short passing from them here and a lot of space down that left-hand side. They whip a ball right into the mixer, and Tony opens the scoring for Inter Turku, and that is not the start that we wanted. That goal coming really out of nowhere, albeit some good play there from the Finnish team, and we need to get our act into gear sooner rather than later here, because it looks like that scout report might be right, because away from home Inter Turku do lead Völsungur 1-0 after 7 minutes. Up to the 37-minute mark, the first highlight that we have seen since Inter Turku did open the scoring. So this has been a pretty average first half from us despite our dominance stats-wise. Hopefully we can get some reward for that sooner rather than later and at least take a draw into the sheds at halftime. And Fredrik Larsson will do just that. Really nice ball there from the former club captain in Nicolusi Caviglia Larsson, given a fair bit of space there on the left-hand side. Very similar to what happened when we conceded the first goal of this game. Tucks it away just past their goalkeeper at the near post. And we should at least have this back at all square going into halftime. And indeed, that is halftime in the first leg of this 1-1, all after a strike from both teams. But we are not really happy with how this is going. I know that we did need to respect Inter Turku somewhat based off the scouting report that I was talking about. Our scouts did rate them fairly highly, but 1-1 at home, not great. So we will tell the boys that we are not happy with how things are going, and hopefully we get a good bounce back here straight off of the restart here in the second half, as we do have possession and pump that deep down the left-hand side again here for Fredrik Larsson, right on the edge of the box. Picks out Nygaard. His strike just goes over the bar, and it does remain all locked up at 1-1 early in the second half of the first leg. And up to the 59-minute mark, it is still locked up here at 1-1. We are looking pretty average, not many highlights in our favour. And Benjamin Rubio, who has been great so far in Champions League qualifying this season on a 6.4 rating, Mousy Martins is in very good form. So what we are going to do is bring him off the bench for Rubio. Just go to a higher tempo as well, see if that helps. Half an hour left, still 1-1. And up to the 69-minute mark, we look to play out from the back with that higher tempo. 20 minutes left. We really would like to have a lead going into that away leg. Otherwise, things could get very interesting indeed. Nice ball there for Mousy Martins, but he can't quite beat the goalkeeper. Great chance for him there, but it does remain 1-1 with 20 minutes left. And 15 minutes are now left in this first leg. Still 1-1, and we are going to make a change at left back. Alejandro Meza not doing badly, but on a 6.6, we could potentially improve out there. Runner Sigurd can come on for him. 15 minutes left. Still locked up at 1-1. And just before we can make that substitution, a new highlight has started. Nygaard trying to get something going here down the right-hand side. We are about to go to an attacking mindset as well, so hopefully that will help. Galtason just outside the box. Nicolucci. Ian Carlo starts to make his way forward. Plays one in there for Nygaard, and we get a penalty. That is exactly what we needed. That substitution does take place now. Nicolucci Caviglia just gets that past the goalkeeper. I think he actually got a hand to it, did the Turku goalkeeper, but that could be a massive moment in this tie. A penalty with 14 minutes left of the first leg, and Nicolucci Caviglia just gets it beyond the goalkeeper. 2-1 with 12 minutes left. And not long off the back of that penalty, we are going to make our last substitution. Patrick Nygaard was the first of the players on red hearts to go down to a red heart, and also the lowest rated of those on red hearts. So Pat Ainscoe can come on for him. He likes a goal. Hopefully he can get one in these last 10 minutes, because currently just the 1 goal advantage going into that away leg. And 82 minutes gone. It is a goal kick here for the Turku team, and their goalkeeper pumps it deep to Corbo. We get that back to Sarah Fellini, and hopefully we can get one more really good chance in this game to try and get a cushion goal to make it 3-1 going into that away leg, and that would be much more comfortable for us, having gone down early in this one. Some good work here from Fredrik Larsson, doing this on his own, and forces a very good save there out of the Turku goalkeeper. It remains 2-1 with about 7 minutes to go, plus injury time in this first leg. The corner, Corbo gets his head to it over the bar. Still 2-1 late in this first leg. 91 minutes gone. It was Turku on the attack here, but Sarah Fellini does find Larsson nicely with that clearance. Can we get a cushion goal in these 5 minutes of added time? We have 3 more left to try and find a goal to get a 2-goal advantage going into that away leg, but they have tried to pin us in on that left-hand side. Fredrik Larsson makes his way forward. Good work from him. And can he put a ball into the mixer? Plays it back for Sigurd Bjornsson. Picks out Mousy Martins into the top right corner. That is exactly what we were after, but it has been disallowed. That must have been very close. That's exactly the type of goal you want to see from a big lad like Mousy Martins, but he is just a stride offside. That would have been absolutely ideal after going down early in this one, but it does look like we are going into the away leg with a 2-1 lead. Better than a deficit, but we did not start that game off very well. A much better second half performance, as you can tell, albeit that was helped out quite a bit by the penalty. That could be quite crucial over these 2 legs. They did pick up a lot of yellow cards there, did the Turku squad, but we do pick up a 2-1 win, albeit that's a little bit closer than I would have liked. Hopefully we can do things a little bit more comfortably in the second leg away from home, but still all to play for with that 2-1 scoreline going into the away leg. And 5 minutes into the second leg, we do have our first highlight. No point showing you guys the team sheets because we are exactly the same, playing in the white today. Turku in the blue and black, looking very much like Inter Milan, which must be where they took their name from. Nygaard, tight angle, tries to square that one for Rubio, but a good block there by the Turku defence does stop that highlight. It remains 0-0 here early, but we are 2-1 up on aggregate. 38 minutes gone. We have our second highlight of this second leg. We are in possession yet again, doing pretty well so far stats-wise, and into Turku not looking quite as threatening as they were in that first leg. Hopefully that does remain the same and we can keep this advantage. And there's a great chance for Patrick Nygaard, slots it away. It's an absolute howler from the Inter Turku goalkeeper, who the media were trying to buzz up a little bit in the pre-match interview with me, telling me that he was quite hard to beat. Well, he has had an absolute shocker here. It's a long ball forward from Ian Carlo. He comes out to get it, but Nygaard beats him to it, just gets that into the bottom left corner, and we get a 2-goal advantage just shy of halftime in the second leg. And that is halftime in the second leg. We do lead 1-0, and that means we are 3-1 up on aggregate. Fairly happy with how things are going, looking a lot more secure than we were in the first leg. Still not a vintage performance by any means, but we will tell the boys things are going well. They're capable of better. Tell them we have a bit of faith in them, and hopefully we can just keep on extending that advantage throughout the second half. And yet again, we have a restart highlight in our favour into Turku, making 3 subs at halftime here in the second leg. So that is very interesting from them. No more substitutions to use throughout the second half. The manager might just be starting to press the panic button, having to come from 2 goals behind. And we do start to make our way forward, trying to play a ball over the top there for Benjamin Rubio, albeit really poor clearance there from the goalkeeper. Nygaard heads that forward to Larson. A little bit less depth on that, and Rubio might have been in, but some good short passing just outside the box from us here. And Galtason will try and unleash one into the right-hand corner. It comes off the upright. They do clear it, and it does remain 1-0 early in the second half, albeit it has gone out for a corner. Nygaard puts us into the mixer. Larson's header as well over the bar. Still 2 goals up early in the second half of the second leg. 53 minutes gone. We have a free kick, looking to really extend this lead and put the game beyond doubt. Frederick Larson, tight angle, beats the goalkeeper. Yet again, that's his 9th goal of the season. It's another assist for Nicolucci Caviglia. He has been very important over both legs of this one, and it's now starting to look a bit more comfortable for us here. 4-1 up on aggregate. Some really good work here from Larson to take that around the goalkeeper. He's not having too good a game there, is the Inter Turku goalkeeper. We are now 3 goals up, 10 minutes into the second half of the second leg. And up to the 72-minute mark, we are going to make our first substitution. Frederick Larson, who has got a goal, is down to a red heart. Sergio Cadena, who come on for him, still 3 goals up inside the last 20 minutes. And we have a free kick shortly off the back of that first substitution, and Cadena is on the ball early. And Mbuyamba tries to crank one there into the top right corner, comes off the upright. We are still 3 goals up with 15 minutes left, and we are going to make our last 2 substitutions at this stage. Arnason down to a red heart. Sakularak to come on for him. He came onto the bench for this leg, and Bayer also on for a tired Nicolucci Caviglia, albeit he has been very important across this tie so far. All our subs used, 3 goals up with 15 minutes left. And that is full time in the second leg of this third qualifying round tie in the Champions League. In the end, we go through fairly comfortably with a 2-0 win to go alongside our 2-1 win from the first leg. But as I said earlier, it was hardly a vintage performance. We did outperform our XG this time around at least, but we certainly weren't quite at full gear, but we do still get the job done after a little bit of an early scare, going down 1-0 early in that first leg. As I said, in the end, getting through fairly comfortably 4-1 on aggregate, and that means we have young boys to look forward to in the playoff at the start of next week. And here are the other results from those other ties on the Champions Path side of Champions League qualifying in that third round. The other teams going through: FCSB, Olympiacos on penalties, Dynamo Zagreb, Rangers, and Sparta Prague. And a quick look over to the league path as well. Feyenoord, Sporting, Lask, and Standard Liège also make their way through to the playoff for the Champions League. And this is how things look on the Champions Path side. We didn't really have to pay too much attention to what else was going on because we are taking on fresh meat. Yet again, we find ourselves against young boys in a Champions League playoff. They are currently top of the Swiss League, as they generally tend to be doing in this save. And it is another trip to Wankdorf to take on David Wagner in the Champions League playoff to start off next week. As I said earlier, hoping for a bit of payback after these guys went through on penalties against us last season and sent us down into a tough Europa League group. Before we do wrap up today's episode. We did play one game in between those ones in the Champions League. It was a Malka-Bikeren quarter-final, and it was a really good performance from our rotation team to beat Valereykjavik 4-1 at home, but it was our backup team goals to Ainsko, Melsi Martins Cadena, and Benjamin Rubio late off the bench. They did grab one back through a penalty in the second half, but in the end it was pretty comfortable. 4-1, we make our way through to a semi-final off the back of the Champions League playoff, where we will be taking on Akranes, a team who do have a few of our former players on their books, the likes of Milan Radovic amongst others, but we are still top of the league, through to the Icelandic Cup semi-final, and have a Champions League playoff to look forward to. As I said, hopefully a bit of payback, and we can find our way into the top tier of European football yet again by defeating Young Boys to start off next week. But if you did enjoy today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. I hope you have a good weekend, and until the start of next week for that Champions League playoff against Young Boys, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.